Hello, my name is Last Danos Mystery Man, and this is my third ever WWE review video and my fourth ever wrestling review video for WWE Monday Night Raw, the WWE Draft Night 2. And well, the draft is now officially in the books, done. The whole draft has taken place, and well, on the whole, I think that this draft did seem like they did shake things up a lot because a good amount of people moved. There was some surprises. Some people moving seemed good. Some people who stayed seemed good. I mean, there was a few issues I had with it. From a logical standpoint and a technical standpoint, I could probably do without. And there was a couple of things that I would have maybe done differently. But I think overall, for Triple H's first draft as head of creative, I'll say he did pretty well, and I hope that this all stays in effect after Backlash on Saturday, which I will be doing a review about. So, getting into the draft, it's opened up with the intro for Monday Night Raw, which the theme song is not bad, but but it's not good either. I mean, it's a good song, but it's not really good as a theme song because it just like feels like greatness. We get it, you're great, but okay. But I don't know if this really should be a problem about the theme song. I feel like WWE may have many more issues, and the theme song might be very low on the list. But getting into the draft, let's see how the draft started. Well, it started out with Triple H coming out, and he had to go with a very long promo. It's like back when the Authority was around, you had like those wall where you had like those 20-minute promos from Triple H. You all remember that? I'm sure you all remember that. But he came out and basically just went through the entirety of the draft world. He just said, okay, so here's, as you all know, Roman Reigns was selected to SmackDown, so that means the World Heavyweight Championship will be on Raw. There will be select NXT superstars being drafted. There was also, other stuff too. He said I cannot exactly remember everything he said. All I know is that his intro took 7 minutes, and I was at the 7 minute mark thinking to myself, I have been waiting 7 minutes for this. Like, I get that you have to explain it, but here's what you could have done, Triple H. Say, Roman Reigns was drafted to SmackDown as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, so the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be on Monday Night Raw, exclusive to Monday Night Raw. Some people have been, Brock Lesnar is declared a free agent, and some other people too. I'll get into that later, but that's kind of stupid. I'll get into that later. And then, and now here's the night two. Some select NXT superstars will be drafted. Well, you could have made it so much simpler. You could have said it's like 2 minutes, Triple H. But anyway, other than Triple H's 7 minutes of speaking, we get to the first round, and well, as I suspected, the Monday Night Raw's first pick in the first round of night two of the WWE draft was the Judgment Day's Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. And well, I figured they was gonna do this, and well, they did do it. So yes, the SmackDown Women's Champion is now drafted to Monday Night Raw, and the Raw Women's Champion is drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. But my thoughts on Rhea Ripley, I think Rhea Ripley is talented. I think she's great in the ring, honestly, but my problem with Rhea Ripley is my problem overall with the Judgment Day that I get a little bit more into when they get drafted. That they're boring. I like to call them the boring day because I'm just not interested in them whatsoever. But I'll get to that later. But I think Rhea Ripley by herself could be good, But she's going to Monday Night Raw as SmackDown Women's Champion, and I'll get into a little bit more of that in a minute. But pick number 2 was the first pick for SmackDown in the second round. They select the WWE United States Champion, Austin Theory, which means the United States Championship is now being moved back to SmackDown, which I really like. I think the Intercontinental Championship has been on SmackDown for, I believe, 4 years now. Yeah, since 2019, so 4 years. So, I think it's good that both belts move. Because the Intercontinental Championship been on SmackDown way too long. United States Championship been on Raw too long. I think Austin Theory will fit much better on SmackDown, especially considering who else SmackDown has gotten. I think considering who else SmackDown has gotten. So my thoughts on Austin Theory: I like Austin Theory. He's pretty good. I mean, his whole selfie gimmick, like he last year didn't do anything for me. And his gimmick now that he's the now kind of wasn't. I like him as the cocky young, cocky heel champion as the United States champion. I think it really works. And plus now we know only 2 people are going to win at Backlash. At Backlash is Bronson Reed versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. Two of those people are on SmackDown. I'll get into Bronson Reed in a minute. So the third pick for Raw was he is a revolutionary. He is a revolutionary. He is a visionary. He is Seth freaking Rollins. And well, Seth freaking Rollins is great. I know some people don't like the whole freaking part about his name, but I honestly, at first I hated it, but now it's really grown on me. I just enjoy saying that whole name. Like saying Seth freaking Rollins. And plus I think he's got to be the most over he's ever been because the whole, I don't know if I can do it correctly. That whole thing is awesome. That whole thing is awesome. His whole theme song, singing, everybody singing, that's awesome. And Seth freaking Rollins is great. I don't have no problem with Seth freaking Rollins. I think him on Raw works. Now, I don't exactly know how that's going to work with the whole fact that Cody's on Raw now. And I figured Seth freaking Rollins was going to be the first World Heavyweight Champion, but it's looking like Cody Rhodes is going to be the first World Champion now because, well, he got to finish the story somehow. That doesn't include Roman Reigns, but, So SmackDown's second pick in the first round was the Queen, Charlotte Flair. So, I'm sure somebody cared. Charlotte Flair. She's kind of she's even more so in the Becky Lynch position. We'll give her the belt. She's got to tie Ric Flair's. She's got to tie her dad's record. She has 14, so she's clearly she's going to win it 2 more times. Like, we know that for a fact. She's going to win either the SmackDown or the Raw Women's Championship at least 2 more times, or maybe 1 each, She's going to tie her dad's record as a women's champion because she's a 14-time women's champion. So clearly she's going to tie her dad's record and she stays on SmackDown. Charlotte, I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm saying that she's been the top of the women's division for so long now that she's just annoying, and she's on SmackDown again. Congratulations to her. I'm sure she's very happy with that. Good for you. So getting into the first match, we had Damage Control, Bayley and Dakota Kai, who I was so confused on why Io Sky wasn't out there with them, but then we figure out later on why. Taking on the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And well, this was an average women's match. It was an average women's tag team match. Stuff happened. Stuff happened. It was a match. It was an okay match, I guess, if you're into that kind of stuff. And then somebody, by the way, Damage Control won. So they're clearly setting up Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Damage Control for, the Women's Tag Team Championships, Because Damage Control just got drafted to SmackDown, mainly so Bayley can go back to a feud with Michael Cole, which should be phenomenal. But other than this match, it was an okay match. I like Bayley. I've always have. I think she's been a heel way too long at this point. Maybe she could try being a babyface again. But she's been a heel for 4 years since 2019, and I think she kind of ran out of steam pretty much after WrestleMania. I don't really see what else there is for her to do as a heel. Dakota Kai, I know some people are high on her. I don't really see. She's okay, but I don't really see it. I guess she's good. I guess. I don't know. I don't really see it. Liv Morgan, she's attractive and hot. She's a hot blonde. She's attractive. She's okay in the ring, but she's not that great, She was SmackDown Women's Champion last year, and we all saw how that ended. Raquel Rodriguez, tall, definitely intimidating. The first time I saw it with what I wanted to be Dakota Kai in NXT, I think the last NXT before the pandemic in 2020, I thought, wow, this woman's impressive. And Coach came to SmackDown, the whole gimmick been she smiles a lot. But this was an average women's match. Stuff happened. It was a match. I must say, I don't hate any of these people. I like all 4 of these women. I'm sure they're all very talented. They're all very talented in their own unique ways, but I don't have much to say about that. So now moving on to the second round of the draft. For Monday Night Raw, also I did like the fact that on SmackDown got the first pick. SmackDown got to pick first, and then on Raw got to pick first because it's their show. I did like that aspect of the draft, how it differed. Okay, so for the first round, for Monday Night Raw's first pick in the second round of the WWE Draft Night 2, Monday Night Raw selects Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Which I'm sure everybody figured figured this, But it does mean it does create something interesting because they're still the tag team champions of both shows. So they're still going to at least appear sometimes on SmackDown. It's just that neither one of them are going to be contracted to SmackDown. But they still are obligated, they still will be obligated to appear on SmackDown until they lose the belts. Does that mean that Triple H is possibly going to split up the belts? I don't see that happening right now. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening till possibly SummerSlam at the earliest. Possibly at SummerSlam, maybe you could do like a triple threat scenario where it's a triple threat and it's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus one team from Raw versus one team from SmackDown, and then both of those teams wins, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn lose the belt because it's too soon for them to lose the belt. Maybe even SummerSlam will be too soon. Possibly, who knows, but. My thoughts as a whole, I like the fact that they both will be on the same brand now. Sami Zayn has been on SmackDown long enough at this point. And Kevin Owens stays on Raw. That should be fun. But I mean, they're both going to be appearing on SmackDown anyways as the Tag Team Champions of SmackDown. They're the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. And because both belts are technically still can be considered separate, they are still technically, both speaking, the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So SmackDown's first pick in the second round is the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, going back to SmackDown. Which, I mean, I think a lot of us thought they was going to go to Raw because they wasn't picked with the bloodline. But I guess they're all staying together to continue that story, which I love how some people try to say. I saw in one of the comment sections someone trying to say that the AEW Pillars tournament was booked is good booking, but the solo woman went, but the bloodline stuff is not good booking. How? This is storytelling. This is emotion. This is storytelling. This is stuff being presented to us. This has been a nearly 3-year story, almost 4-year story since 2020. Has been the story of all of this. Because if you don't remember correctly, Roman Reigns' first WWE Universal Championship defense was against Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso was injured. That's when Jey Uso became main event Jey Uso, which I don't think is a nickname they should use anymore because he's not main event Jey. Well, actually, it should be the main event Usos and main event Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn because they main event WrestleMania. But But other than that, the Usos going back to SmackDown. I guess they're going to be at the helm of SmackDown as a tag team. I could definitely see them entering a month-long feud with the Street Profits. As something separate from Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns goes, you know what? You guys lost at WrestleMania. And then you lost again on SmackDown. But you remained on SmackDown because you are still the best tag team in WWE right now. Are you the best? Are you still the best? Who knows? I get that might go to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens now because they beat you. To be the best, you got to beat the best. But you guys are still amazing. So you guys need to go back on. You guys need to be separated from me. And I can see them being separated from Roman Reigns and going into maybe a 2 to 3 month program with the Street Profits. Because I think those would be very exciting matches. And that could lead the Street Profits to SummerSlam where they face Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. And then you can kind of stop the whole bloodline story, but they could still interact just a little bit. And Solo Sikoa, which I still do not get that name, because he's not just Solo Anawaki, Solo Fatu, Solo Uso, or Sikoa Uso. Why is he still Solo Sikoa? I don't get the Solo part. He ain't Solo anymore. And I love how he's still technically called the Street Champion from the Island, because that's what Corey Graves called him, but But overall, the Usos going back to SmackDown. I think this is good because I think Usos versus Street Profits could be a great feud for SmackDown. Because SmackDown has always had the better feud as a tag team. So next, the Monday Night Raw second pick is the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio. What can I say about the Judgment Day? I think they suck. I don't enjoy their gimmick. I think their gimmick is supposed to be that they're either A, street dogs, B, golf kids, or C, three dudes and a woman who think that they're cool, but they're really not. They're boring. I did not enjoy Dominic Mysterio's whole I'm a guy. Did not enjoy Dominic Mysterio's I've been to prison. I was in prison. No, you haven't. I've met people who've gone to prison, and you have never been to prison. It does not work. Also, on WrestleMania, they showed this video where he ate cereal and he put the milk in front and then he put the cereal on top of that, which I did not like it. That's not how I do it. It does not look right to me. I cannot do it that way. If you enjoy it that way, good for you. But for me personally, I just couldn't. So that made me hate him even more. That made me want to see Rey Mysterio kick his ass even more. So yeah, I don't like the Judgment Day. I don't think I ever will like the Judgment Day, and they stay on Raw. Good for them. And the final pick for SmackDown in the second round is the Latino World Order, the LWO. Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, and Legado, and plus Rey Mysterio, and then Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Selena Vega. The LWO. And I mean, I like this. I like the LWO because here's something you may not know about me. Here's something you may not know about me just looking at me. I'm Irish. I'm Irish, but I'm also like half Mexican too. I'm also half Mexican of Hispanic ascent basically. Because my biological father was Hispanic, so I'm Hispanic or Mexican. I'm not really sure. One of the two. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure which one. I know I'm of Hispanic descent somehow. So yeah, I like the LWO because I guess technically represent me in a way, but yeah, that's where I got my really jet black hair from. Even more so jet black because my mom also has jet black hair as well. It's weird. It's a weird combination, but you know. Other than that, I like the LWO. I think this gimmick could work. Like it's nice. I mean, WWE has really been trying to get into the Hispanic market forever. And keeping them on SmackDown definitely seem to be right because Fox. No offense, USA Network. I'm pretty sure Fox I'm pretty sure Fox has a bigger market. I'm pretty sure Fox would have a bigger stage to get more Hispanic people. I'm just thinking. You know. I'm just thinking because I know they're on Fox's main Fox channel. You know, Fox main channel, and all of them as individual. I mean, Rey Mysterio is pretty much the most famous luchador in American professional wrestling, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. Santos Escobar, good. I like him. I think he could be something. He's Cruz del Toro, formerly Raul Mendoza. He's pretty good. I think him and Joaquin Wilde definitely should be more of a tag team. Joaquin Wilde, I've always liked him. He's cool. He used to be Zema Ion and DJ Z and TNA, so it's just so weird to see him down now. And Selena Vega as well. I don't want to be mean here or sexist, but you know, she's not that tall. She's not that tall, but she's very hot, so that works. But yeah, but I mean, now the whole feud with the Judgment Day is kind of over. Because then later on, I don't know when this exactly happened, but hold on. Because then we move on. Then we move on to later on in the night. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. When I get to that in later, but then we move on to the next match, which is Braun Strowman and Ricochet, the Monster Flight, taking on Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. Which this was a fairly decent tag team match, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet, the Monster Flight, as I like to call them, wins. What else? I like Ricochet and Braun Strowman as a tag team. I think they really work as a tag team. I think they could now possibly feud with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens on Raw. Well, you know, I said SmackDown does its own thing with the tag teams. At Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. Cool, I guess. Interesting, I guess. I don't know. I think Chad Gable should have been drafted to SmackDown and been in a singles done. You could put Otis with Otis. We could change that Otis to Otis, and you can go with Maximum Male Models. But then I have nothing else to say about that match. So now getting back to the third round, and Monday Night Raw first pick in the third round are the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And well, I guess I can now go into more detail about them. Also, they're also going to appear on SmackDown too because they're the Women's Tag Team Champions, and the Women's Tag Team Champions appear on both brands. So I don't get that either, but okay. So Getting into Liv Morgan with Carol Rodriguez. As I stated earlier, Liv Morgan is hot. She's very attractive. She's a very attractive blonde. Do I think she has much other self going for? I mean, she's okay I mean, she's not great. She's not like. She's not. Oh my god! She's not. Wow. Not. Oh my god. Sorry, somebody test me. Sorry, somebody just had to test me. I'll get back to that later. So, anyways, Liv Morgan is very attractive and she's a hot blonde. Basically, people like that. I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I'm a dude. I'm 21. And I'm a dude. I'm just trying to be honest here. And Raquel Rodriguez, I think, could be very great as a singles dominant women's heel. But, I guess they work as a tag team. SmackDown's second pick. SmackDown first pick in the, what round are we in? The third round was Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. And, well, this is cool. Asuka's got a chain of scenery, which I think can really work. Although I am a little bit weirded. I am a little bit confused on why she was drafted to SmackDown and Bianca Belair is also going to be on SmackDown. Then they kind of had the whole blowout feud at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe since Asuka's a heel, maybe Asuka's gonna win the SmackDown Women's Championship, and Bianca Belair's gonna chase her for a while. Who knows? So yeah, Asuka on SmackDown, I like it. Chain of scenery. The second pick for Raw is the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, and you can't talk about the New Day without bringing up Big E. Which I'm not entirely sure how Big E's doing, but I hope he comes back. Hope he can at some point come back. As long as it's safe for him to come back. I don't want him to come back and something happens again. If he can be medically cleared and he's medically cleared and it's able for him to come back, I would like him to come back. But the New Day back on Raw, obviously Xavier Woods back on Raw, I like it. Kofi Kingston is phenomenal. He's been there for 15 years at this point. I've pretty much feel like I've pretty much watched him my entire life since he came into the company when I was like 6. My grandpa was still alive when he started. When my grandpa was still alive when Kofi Kingston debuted. Although my grandpa did tell me, it was in June of 2009, right before he died, like 2 months before he died in August of 2009. He told me one day if Vince McMahon did not screw up Kofi Kingston, one day Kofi Kingston could be WWE champion. That's what my grandpa told me in June of 2009. Well, 10 years later, it happened. And Xavier Woods is good. I like Xavier Woods. It's kind of upsetting that he still never got his one big singles one other than that time he won King of the Ring, which was okay, I guess. And SmackDown's final pick is the Brawling Brute, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch. Sheamus has been in WWE for 14 years. And well, I remember when he won the WWE Championship for the first time from John Cena at TLC, where it kind of looked like he slipped. I remember that Monday at school. All my friends who like wrestling, we was all so horribly confused. We was all like, "Wait, what? Shame? Really?" We was all massive John Cena fans because we was all children. It was 2009. It was December of 2009. You like John Cena? You like John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Rey Mysterio, and a couple of other people, I'm assuming. But yeah, Ridge Holland, he's okay, I guess. I mean, I know some people still may hold a grudge against Ridge Holland for what happened to Big E, but honestly, I'm just going to say this one time and maybe not say it again, but if I do, I'll bring it up again. You cannot, I mean, I understand Ridge Holland caused it, but accidents happen. Don't hold Ridge Holland whole career down because of that. You can't, accidents happen. I don't even think Big E holds them responsible. So don't put that on Ridge Holland completely. I mean, accidents happen. Any accidents happen, that could have happened to anybody, because I know some people go, Ridge Holland's unsafe, he's not that good. I mean, come on, accidents happened. And Pete Dunne, Butch is okay, I guess. I don't know. I like the Butch character in a sense, but can he just go back to being called Pete Dunne at this point? Because he's basically just Pete Dunne. Why couldn't his gimmick be, I don't know, why couldn't his nickname be the Butch or Pete Dunne or something? I don't know, that would work. So then moving into the next match, you got Matt Riddle versus Jimmy Uso, which kind of is a match that you're building up to Backlash, but at the same time, They're all both going to be on different brands. One's going to be on SmackDown, one's going to be on Raw, so it makes no sense for them to interact here. But, other than Backlash, Matt would have won. It was an okay match. Jimmy Uso doesn't do much for me as a single star. I don't think Jimmy Uso will possibly ever go off on a singles one. I don't think Jimmy Uso will ever be, well, now United States champion on SmackDown. I don't think that would ever happen. So then we get to the part of this program that I would like to, talk about. Omos, the Nigerian giant Omos, who's taking on Seth freaking Rollins at Backlash in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That should be fun, I guess. So Omos is taking on a guy named Anthony Alanis, and it was a fairly decent match. I mean, not fair. Omos squashed them and won. There you go. That was happened. But what I was liking about Omos is, why exactly is he a free agent? Like, I get later on Brock Lesnar being a free agent because he's Brock Lesnar. But why is Omos a free agent? I get MVP apparently negotiated, but what was the negotiation process here, MVP? He's so big that he can't be on one brand? Like, he's only ever appeared on SmackDown. I don't think Omos has ever once appeared on Raw, on SmackDown. Has Omos ever once appeared on Raw? He's only ever been on Raw his entire career in WWE. Has he ever once appeared on SmackDown? I don't think so. But now he can. Omos, he doesn't do much for me. I mean, I saw one video with him talking about his life and how he had some problems, and I also saw I saw that video. So Omos seemed like a very charismatic, talented guy. They just need to let him show his stuff because he's very charismatic. Honestly, there's something there with Omos if they let him show it instead of making him into a typical giant. So then moving into the fourth round of the WWE draft. This one is kind of only about a couple of people, but first off, you got WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. And well, for most of it, I don't have much to say about Trish Stratus other than what I've heard from other people. And I mean, yes, Trish Stratus is a legend and WWE Hall of Famer, but I was 4 years old when she retired in 2006, so I really haven't seen much of her work other than what we've watched on the WWE Network or Peacock. But yeah, I've always liked all of Trish Stratus' work. I mean, she is a legend, and I like her here one. She's kind of like, I'm the one who kind of did all of this for the women's division, yet everybody doesn't want to. I mean, in a way, she's kind of not one. It's like she's like, I'm the one who started this whole women's evolution like 23 years ago, and I'm not getting the credit I deserve. You all want to talk about Becky Lynch. I think that's good, and also Trish Stratus came back, and 1 week after she turned here, 1 week later, she cut the best women's promo in wrestling. So that's always fun. Here's a woman who has talent. And the next pick was Karrion Kross with Scarlett. I don't care. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I don't really care either. They go in the wall. Karrion Kross is on SmackDown. LA Knight. That's someone I can get behind. He's going to SmackDown. And when I get to someone else, I think you might know where I'm going with this, but LA Knight's going to SmackDown. I like that. I think LA Knight going to SmackDown could definitely work. Because he's talented. He's amazing in the ring. He's great. He should definitely be pushed. I know he's kind of up there in age, but come on, he's still got a lot of good years. Then the Judgment Day come out for a promo, and this is what I'm talking about. They come out and he go, and Finn Balor's like this. I don't like whatever their pose is, and I'm like, this is so boring. It's the same things every day. Damian Priest like, please rise for the Judgment Day. Finn Balor has a promo. Finn Balor said something. Something about kicking somebody's ass. They're gonna remain the top force on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. I'm just like, can we go cut to literally anything else? They got changed the channel heat for me, honestly. And then Dominic Mysterio tries to talk. Everybody boos him. He goes, I can't believe they were drafted to SmackDown. How dare they? How can my dad run away from me again? And Mysterio comes like, Dominic, son, we was drafted to SmackDown by the people who work at SmackDown. Do you not know how drafts work? You've been in 2 of them, dude. Like, he's been in 2 drafts. Like, he was drafted from Raw to SmackDown in 2020, then drafted from SmackDown to Raw in 2021. He's been in 2 different drafts. What's the problem here, Dominic Mysterio? Also, I love how he's still Dominic Mysterio. I think it would be Dominic, just Dominic. Just yell his name the whole time. Just Dominic in all capital letters. They have a match. It's a pretty decent, I guess, you know, six mitts tag team match. The Boring Day wins. I don't care about the Judgment Day. If you like them, good for you, but I don't care. So then we get to the fifth round. Which is the fifth round of this draft. And well, this round kind of drafted a bunch of people I could care less about until we get to the last one. So round 5 drafts Braun Strowman and Ricochet from SmackDown and Monday Night Raw, the Monster Flight. And I like this new tag team coming to Raw. Raw's kind of seeming like they're getting a lot of the tag team, but okay. This naked pick was Chelsea. If you like Chelsea, good for you. I don't care about Chelsea. I don't care whatsoever. She's going to SmackDown in case you cared. Pick number 5 was the next pick was Bronson Reed. And I like Bronson Reed. The Colossal Bronson Reed, although there's a triple threat match at Backlash for the United States Championship where 2 of those people are on SmackDown and the United States Championship is on SmackDown and Bronson Reed is on Monday Night Raw. So we know who's not winning that match. Even though Corey Gray goes, Bronson Reed could bring the United States Championship to Monday Night Raw. So there's still a... No. Because technically speaking, Corey Graves, the draft doesn't go into effect until Monday. Until Monday. So technically speaking, at Backlash, Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory are both still members of Monday Night Raw. Technically speaking. And the United States Championship is still technically on Raw. So if Bronson Reed somehow won, he would just then be moved to SmackDown as United States Champion. Considering Monday, May 8th, according to Triple H, everything goes in effect. The Intercontinental Championship goes to the Raw. The United States Championship goes to SmackDown. The United States Championship is still technically a part of Raw. Because everyone's still technically on the same brand they already was. Until it goes into effect. Now we get to one person, 2 people I jumped up and down when they were drafted. From NXT, going to Friday Night SmackDown. The single best tag team in NXT today, and I will put money on that. The funniest group, the funniest 2 guys. Yes, boys. Elton Prince and Kilt Wilson. I love Pretty Deadly. I think they are phenomenal. I am so happy they finally get the opportunity to be on the main roster. Because I love their feud with the New Day. I loved when they were the unified NXT Tag Team Champions, mid last year when they won the NXT UK Tag Championship too. Well, for some reason they failed to mention that, like it was still a thing that happened, people. I don't know why they failed to mention it. But Pretty Deadly finally on SmackDown. Hallelujah, finally something good. Finally, we can get some fresh blood, but we can also get quite possibly the best tag team in WWE, the best under